These are my confessions. Cue the dog intro. Hello, everybody. Dun, dun, dun. Today we are doing my debt confession. So, if you haven't watched it already, I did a prelude to this video. I'm not quite sure what it was called because I'm filming this before I filmed that. But I think I'm naming it something like Get to Know Me, Getting Vulnerable. I was doing my nails in that video. And it was basically telling you guys a little bit about myself and our money story. Getting into the nitty-gritties of my personal money story before I met my husband, and then some of our money story early on in our marriage, because we had quite the adventures in money, if you would say. And I think it's important to kind of have the background. So if you haven't watched that video, please go watch it. Click out of this video and go watch it. I'll leave it linked down below, and then come back and watch this video. Not that it's an excuse for the debt that we're in, but I think it just helps explain some of the behaviors behind why we have some of the debts that we have. Plus, I think it's a good story, to be honest. We had some interesting things happen to us in our marriage, so early on in our marriage when it comes to money. So yeah, I think it's a good listen. Anyways, so to not make this video too long, this is our debt confession. I did write this up. This is as of November 14th, 2021. So I'll kind of explain it as I go. So the first thing we have is consumer debt. My husband and I think Dave Ramsey says that everybody has a spender and a saver in the relationship. Well, my husband and I are both spenders. So I think that that's not necessarily always true. I would say that I'm less of the spender in the relationship, but I wouldn't say that we're both obscene spenders, but we're both spenders. So we both struggled a lot with credit card debt. Currently, we don't have credit card debt, but just recently this year, I think in September, we took out a personal loan to get rid of our credit cards. So because really what was happening, I think we had a total of 5. We would pay off the smaller ones that had the better interest rates because I'd get sick and tired of them. I'd pay off the smaller ones, and then I'd get to like the 3 larger ones with the not great interest rates, and I just couldn't make movement on them, and I was getting really defeated and really frustrated with them, and I would be putting large sums of money to them, and I just wasn't making any traction. So we took out a personal loan, got a much better interest rate on it, and we've been making some really good traction on it, even though we've only had the personal loan for a couple of months now. So that loan total is $17,125. We took it out, I think, originally for $19,000. It's at 7.86%, which is a high percentage rate, really, for a loan. But when you think it's for credit cards, really, that's much better than what we were paying on those credit cards, because especially those 3 that I had trouble paying off, they were up in the 22% range. So like I said, we've only had this for 2 months now, and SoFi, I really like SoFi. It tracks how much you've paid off in the app. It's just always so hungry and thirsty when I need to make a video. It tracks how much that I've paid off in the app, and it says we're at 9 to 10%, depending like when interest hits, So that's awesome. I feel very happy that we did this because I feel really rejuvenated that we're making progress on this. And we have locked up the credit cards and we are not using them. So that is great news. The next debts that we have are car loans. So unfortunately, we have 2 car loans. So we have my husband's truck, which is at $15,518. It's at a 4% interest rate. We just refinanced this year as well. And then we have my car, which was new. Well, it was not a new car, but we purchased it new to us last year, right before all the crap hit the fan. I purchased it because my car was just falling apart. So that is at $22,704, and it's at a 5.49% interest rate, which I didn't realize it was that high, to be honest. So we do have 2 car payments, and we haven't had 2 car payments for a very... Oh, yeah. Now we're going to play with our toy. Hi, puppy. Can you lay down? Can you lay down? Okay. We haven't had 2 car payments in a very long time. Usually we have just 1 car payment and the other car is paid off. And so we had like 1 junker and 1 nicer one. Before this, we had 2 junkers, and that was the unfortunate thing with that. And then they both kind of died at the same time. Bless you. So now we're stuck with 2 car payments. Ideally, I'd like to just get rid of this truck payment, but really this is our target debt right now. So the total of our car loans right now is $38,222. All right, our next confession or debt is student loans. So I think I talked about this in my Get to Know Me, but my husband works skilled trade, so his school is paid for with the program that he went through, as long as he stays with his union for 10 years, which he is at the 8-year mark. He has no plans on leaving, so that's fantastic. I am a medical laboratory scientist, which is a degreed job. I did the associates, and then I did the bridge program to get my 4-year degree. So I have student loans. And then, as you guys know from watching that previous video, I took out a lot more student loans because of the problems that we were having in our life at the time. So unfortunately, I have a lot of student loans. We'll just pull away the curtain. So yeah, Great Lakes is my lender. They break them up into all these little cute loans. So there's 11 of them with varying interest rates. I'd like to say that I've been paying on these during the 0% interest, but no, I have not. We just haven't been able to focus on that. So they've just been sitting stagnant, and we've been prioritizing our debt payments elsewhere, primarily at this SoFi loan. So I have a whopping $59,744 in student loan debt. I don't regret that, because if I wouldn't have that, we would have lost our first home, and I wouldn't have the education that I have today, and that gives me the job that I have today. And I really love the job that I have today, so I can't be mad at that. But I will be mad at that when I am paying it off. Next debt that we have is we have land up north. You guys probably see that on my budget with me. I code it as LUN. We have a deduction that comes out each paycheck that we put into a separate Capital 360 account. So we do have a mortgage on this. It's 40 acres of hunting land. It's very beautiful. We bought it in, 2019, I think. We bought it for, well, we bought it for more than this, but our mortgage is $84,518 as of November 1st. Actually, there might have been a payment made that wasn't applied to this, but we're at a 5.5% interest rate, which is really good actually for raw land because there's no structures on this or anything. So there's not a lot of collateral, if you know what I mean. So generally when there's not like collateral, they have a higher interest rate for things just like with this personal loan, right? There's not like something tangible that they can take from me if I default on this loan, like a car or like, you know, a house. So they generally have a higher interest rate on something. So same with the land. Although the land has lumber on it and that does have value, it's harder to grade that. So usually land has a higher interest rate than houses do, just because of that reason. So we've been doing fine on this. We put $800 to $1,000 a month into our Capital 360 account. Our mortgage payment for the land is about $550 each month, and then the excess is used for taxes because they don't escrow taxes, and then also it's for anything additional we may need, and yeah. And then the last thing is our home. Our home we bought in 2014, I feel like. And we bought it, it was a foreclosure. So we got a really screaming deal on it, really. I think we originally financed it at like $230. We're sitting at $198,853. We're sitting, so yeah. So our house we bought at like $230. The value of our house in the area that we live in, we have a lot of equity in this house. The house across the street from us, although they have a little bit more land, sold for $500,000. That our house is really valued around like $350,000 to $400,000. So we have a lot of equity in this house, which is great. I'm so thankful that we found this house and we were able to purchase it as a foreclosure. So I, you know, as far as an investment goes, and like it was a good buy. So the grand total of everything here is $398,462. Woo! So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, but really, and this is kind of like how you feel in life. You know, having a car payment and having a mortgage, I don't necessarily view as being bad things. You know, I don't want to have consumer debt. I really don't want to have 2 car payments. The student loans need to go, and having 2 mortgages is a little excessive unless I was making rental income off of this, which I'm not. Oh, you'll also see that the MI house isn't on here. If you guys follow my channel, you'll know that I have an MI house envelope that I stuff, and I talk about the MI house being our vacation home. The MI house is paid, the mortgage is paid in full, so all we need to pay for that out of pocket is taxes and then keep up of the house. So that's just pure equity for us. So that house's mortgage is taken care of. That's not in a debt of ours anymore. And my phone is paid off, so that's not on here either. So yeah, I mean, it could be worse. It could definitely be better. So the plan here is going to be targeting this consumer debt, and I will be doing a video on how I plan on doing that next. So stay tuned. But yeah, this video was not easy for me to film, to like air out the dirty laundry, you know, but realistically, like most people suffer with this amount of debt. I mean, it's kind of put into our heads that it's the American way, right? Like, which is sad, like, but a lot of us have student loans. A lot of us have a car loan. A lot of us have a home loan, and a lot of us have credit cards. So, and a lot of us aren't taught how to handle money correctly. And if you watched my previous video about our money story, like you really understand how I could end up in a situation like this without realizing what it meant, you know, down the road, especially with like the credit cards and with my student loans. So yeah, but well, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I didn't scare you away. Kind of scared myself away. I mean, I've been aware of that debt number. So yeah, I think this is going to be my debt book, and we'll be writing in it frequently as I tackle those debts in 2022. See you next time. Bye, guys.